It's rivalry week, and we've got a ton of big games on Black Friday. Perhaps the most impactful as far as the college football playoffs will be the Texas A&M Aggies at Texas. The Aggies will be a 2.5-point favorite. The total sits at 51.5. Texas A&M is still undefeated. They come into this game with a record of 11-0 straight up. They're 5-6 against the spread. They've won all 4 of their road games, and they're coming off a 48-0 whooping over Samford. Might as well have been a bye week. They got to play a minnow of college football, which means their backups probably got in there early. The starters should be well rested and prepared for this Texas game. Little bit of a blip on the radar, though, prior to the Samford game. They were trailing 30-3 at home against South Carolina 2 weeks ago. Marcel Reed did not look good in the first half of that game, but showed some character and led the troops to a improbable comeback win. They came from down 30-3 at halftime to win that game 31-30, and Marcel Reed was lighting it up in the second half. You might look at that game like a warning sign that this team isn't as good as they're cut out to be, or you might look at it like every team's going to have a bad game. They had theirs. They escaped with a win. It's a half full, half empty argument. I don't know which way how about this? I'll tell you which way we should look at it after the Texas game. This team has proven they could win on the road, although they have had some lucky wins. 41-40 at Notre Dame, and it was a missed extra point by the Irish that allowed them to win that game. A nail biter at Arkansas, 45-42. That said, their most recent road games were blowout wins, 49-25 at LSU and 38-17 at Missouri. This team ranks number 4 in the SEC in pass defense. They're only allowing 183 yards per game. And with the inability to run the ball for the Texas Longhorns, that top 4 pass defense might come in handy. They rank number 2 in the SEC in sacks. They got 39 sacks on the season, and that's bad news for Arch Manning, who was sacked 3 times in that loss to Georgia. Only Oklahoma has more sacks. They got 41 sacks on the season. Texas A&M has 39. It's going to be hard for me not to back this Texas A&M team because I did pick them as one of my long shots to make the playoffs at plus 225 before the season started. We're going to talk about Texas, but before we do, let me tell you about a promotion we have available for this Thanksgiving at WagerTalk.com. For a limited time, you can get 7 days, all sports, all access, just $67. And why would you want to sign up for myself? Well, I was 100% perfect with my football plays last weekend. That's college and pro football. Hit my 5% college play 3 straight Saturdays. I've got another one on tap for this Saturday. I've also won 8 straight 5% plays, 100% perfect with my 5% money line sides in 2025. We're putting both of those records to the test this Saturday. As always, there's no purchase necessary. You're more than welcome to tune in just for the free picks. I do ask that you take the time to smash that like button. That really helps me out. And another thing that helps me out is if you've got anything to say to me about this game or any other game on Black Friday, Saturday, NFL on Sunday, Thanksgiving Day, anything you want to talk about, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I do get a lot of feedback from the viewers, and I enjoy it. And let's have a look at what they've been saying in previous videos. So this is in response to my preseason video where I picked 3 long shot teams. Those teams were Georgia Tech, who broke my heart last week, Illinois, who just ran into better teams, and Texas A&M at plus 225. And this guy says Texas A&M at plus 550 to make the SEC championship game is a better bet. Now, it's a better bet because it's a higher payout, but my argument was there's going to be 4 or 5 SEC teams making the playoffs, and I want the high percentage play. The 4th and 5th best SEC team is not going to be in the SEC championship game, but they are going to be in the playoffs. So that was the reason why I elected to take them to make the playoffs rather than the SEC championship game. Let's look at another comment. This fella asked an interesting question last week. I'm not going to attempt to read it word for word because I'm an old man. My eyes are bad. And last time I tried to read it, I failed miserably. But basically what he's asking me in this question is there a certain sport or a certain market that I can hit 70% at, because he really doesn't want to bet on markets where he's only hitting around 56%. And I thought it was an interesting question. It's perhaps a little naive because nobody can guarantee they're going to hit 70% in any market. That's a little bit of a lofty goal. However, I did tell him last year in the NFL playoffs, I hit 76%, which is about as good as it gets for me for any duration, like a tournament or playoffs. Or if you could hit 76% for a season with a particular sport, that would be record shattering. So yeah, you shouldn't be asking your professional handicapper to hit 76%. 60% is more the upper echelon, the very best of the best for over a long sample size. So I tried to explain that to him, but also offered him the information that I did hit 76% in last year's NFL playoffs from start to finish. So hopefully he's on board now, and he's going to be happy with moving forward. He was certainly happy last weekend because we were perfect. That's 100%. How about that? Let's get back into this game. Texas 7-3, just 2-7-1 against the spread. You got to remember, this team came into the season ranked number 1 in the polls. Arch Manning was the favorite to win the Heisman, and Texas kind of came out flat. They just didn't live up to expectations, but they are 4-0 at home. They're coming off a 52-37 win over Arkansas. They were up 24-20 at halftime in that game, and I had the Razorbacks plus 5.5 as one of my winners on Saturday for the first half. The Razorbacks actually they kind of lit up this Texas defense last week. They had 512 total yards, 29 first downs. The reason they lost the game is because they lost the turnover battle. They turned the ball over twice. They didn't force any turnovers. This Texas team has allowed over 35 points per game in their last 4 games overall. They're missing linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. He's listed as questionable for this game. He hasn't played the last few games. Arch Manning, 251 yards, a touchdown and a pick on 27 of 43 passing in a 35-10 loss at Georgia the last time they played a ranked opponent. And there is some rumors about Steve Sarkisian perhaps leaving for the NFL. Now, Sarkisian has come out and said, I'm not going anywhere. And I'll tell you what, you can take that statement from Sarkisian, you could write it down on a piece of 2-ply and use it to wipe your ass. Because when you ask coaches and they tell you I'm not going anywhere, they all say that right before they leave. Most famously, Tommy Tuberville told Mississippi fans, I'm not leaving unless it's in a pine box. I think it was a few weeks later he took a job at Auburn. This is well known that coaches lie through their teeth about where they're going and when they're going. I'm not saying Sark's going anywhere. All I'm saying is don't believe his statement. Don't take that to mean too much. Is it a distraction? I don't know. I just don't think Texas is that good. The fact that they're allowing 35 points per game in their last 4, the fact that the Aggies have a chance to go to the SEC championship game and make the college football playoffs, maybe win a national title, the fact that the Aggies have the 4th-ranked SEC pass defense, right up there in the conference lead in sacks, and their offense just is consistently moving the ball and putting up points, which is more than what I can say for Texas. I will have to take the undefeated Aggies at this short line of -2.5. So we're going to roll with Texas A&M. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you've got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, you hit me up in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.